Hello and welcome to the first Camo and Dave podcast. Now, Camo, straight to the hot topics. You lost your wallet.
I have. I'm not sure where it is. I mean,
Possible locations?
RGA probably in West Pymble. I was buying LMP and a chocolate. Possibly somewhere else. I mean, maybe Forestville, maybe Killarney. I don't know. It's a big problem. I'm really worried about it. What am I going to do? It's got about $80 in it, so yeah, I'll be right. I'm not. Yeah, I'm quite apprehensive about it. I mean, it was a Hugo Boss from Thailand. Well, not from Thailand, from Vietnam.
Hugo Boss.
Yeah, from
Never heard of it.
Wow, it's quite a good one. Yeah.
Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh. Yeah, it's
So where do you got it
it's a
from?
place in Europe.
Vietnam, last I checked.
Okay, right. But yeah,
Otherwise known as, what was it?
the land of communism.
No, what was it before then? Saigon. Saigon.
So yeah, right. Yeah.
And then from Ho Chi Minh, the War Museum.
Oh, yeah, pretty propagandized. Yeah, a lot of crap. Very hot place, isn't it?
They really hate the Americans.
They do.
I noticed in the War Museum.
It's like being at bloody
Really biased.
UTS or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Sydney Uni.
Sydney Uni, Moscow.
Macquarie students.
Moscow, yeah, pretty much any university in Sydney. We shouldn't make this about politics, though, should we? We're trying to be quite neutral here, but we don't necessarily agree with the Labor politics too. Oh, well, we'll leave that to the viewers, I guess.
Maybe we should get
Politicians
a
in.
left wing supporter in
We could.
every now and then.
Yes, right.
Just to balance it
There's
it
enough.
out.
There's enough.
Just so we're not so dogmatic.
Alan Jones is pretty left wing, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's from the left lane. Oh no, he's from the left lane of the pool. I think we could get people in though. I mean, how are we going to lure them in though? We're going to offer them like money or absinthe or some sort of.
We could get someone really opinionated, Mitch Fly.
Oh, we could, right? Yeah. He's got a bit of a flu, but
Big Shandogs.
Shanda, right? Yeah,
Who-
they live in Belrose, don't they?
Yeah, they're close by.
We
Yeah,
could ring
that'll
them
work.
up. Well, should we ring them up or should we bring them in?
No, bring him in. Bring him in. We bring him in.
It's going to cost a bit.
Oh,
We have to get them a helicopter or something.
Can't you? Easiest way to a man's stomach is food.
Yeah,
Making some spag bowl.
with
Speaking
garlic
of which,
and all that. Yeah.
so you've
Right.
you've been at home for the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
So what have you cooked
Oh.
the past 2 weeks for yourself?
A lot.
A lot.
Spaghetti bolognese.
Spaghetti bolognese.
What else? Satay chicken with rice. So the big problem with cooking is you got to make sure that it's actually cooked, isn't it? I mean.
So rice. You got put it in a pot,
Oh no.
or did you get the
Put it in a sifter.
preheat?
Oh no, actually, I put it in a sifter. But I did put it on the pot.
So you did boil her up.
I tried to. Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
not easy, is it?
The biggest problem I had was I wasn't sure what I should put in the microwave. So I put one of those cooking container things. You know, the thing that you put over
A microwave container.
Oh, it wasn't a microwave container because
Did you later figure it out?
no, because it smelt. It smelt like there was a fire for days. I don't think it was a microwave container. My mum thinks there was a fire. I'm pretty sure it was not microwavable. I was trying to put something in there, actually, rice or something. I did a very good job, though. It's just the mince. It's very hard to
What
sort
was
of...
the container? Like plastic?
I think so.
So it probably melted it.
Well, I mean, I was watching Q&A or something, and the next minute I did smell a fire, and I was looking towards calling the fire brigade, but I just got it out and just...
And how'd you get it out?
I put my golf gloves on from the
Did you
golf.
actually?
Yeah, I did. FootJoy.
Where were the golf clubs? In the next room over? In
yeah,
the kitchen?
Yeah. I mean, I had my clubs out. I was actually trying out my new swing from Tiger Woods. Who's
As you do?
Well, yeah, in the lounge room.
You've
Well,
been
no
away
one's
from
there.
golf for a while.
I have. I've really missed it. I really missed my old slice. But no, it was a big problem. But no, cooking's fun, isn't it? You know, and not only that, you can drink while you do it. You know, it's real fulfilling.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You can take your pants off. You can have, you can have sex if you find someone. You can, you can shake the sauce bottle. You could shake the sauce bottle.
Seems like a hot scene. Like the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, you could shake the sauce bottle if you want. You could get the tomato sauce out. You could piss everywhere. It was good. But the hard thing is cleaning up.
Yeah.
How do you clean up?
You gotta do it as you go.
How do you clean up rice when you cook it not very well and rice sticks? How do you cook? But what do you do there?
You get
do you get a cleaner in or
spatula?
I don't have a spatula.
Hot water. Run,
I only have
spatula.
I have cutlery from the fast food. That's all I have. So when I was cooking, I was using a plastic cup, a plastic spoon.
You can use a knife and scrape it along the bottom.
I only have the plastic knives. Mum doesn't trust me with the raw knives.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
She hid him?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. Right. So I only had I was sponsored by KFC when I was working there at the kitchen. It was really tough, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So sauteed chicken and rice? What else?
With the towelettes from KFC.
With the oh, you still have them around?
Spaghetti bolognese,
Spag bowl.
tacos, which is just mint.
How did you do the spag bowl? Did you do your own sauce, or did you get the jar?
I got the jar. I couldn't open it. I had to actually call my neighbour
How'd
and
the mince go?
Oh, well, I didn't really chop. You're supposed to chop mince. I just chucked it all in, and I just hoped for the best. And I just stirred it all around. I had a shower at the same time, so I had to sort of check concurrently
what was the jar.
Or I couldn't open it. I had to get my neighbour in. I'm not strong enough.
You know actually how to do that. You get the big knife.
I got a tea towel, and I was trying to wind around like a clock.
I'll teach you a sec. You get the big knife. On the blunt end of the knife, you go bang, bang. So you dent here, and then you turn it. You get the knife, and you go bang, bang. So you dent it again. Bang, bang. Dent it again. With the blunt side, not the sharp side. Yeah. Bang, bang again. And then it pops loose. Because the vacuum...
I don't have a vacuum.
Probably your mum hid it from you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
you had to get the neighbour in. How did the neighbour get it off? They couldn't get it off high.
No, well, he got his neighbour as well.
You're joking.
His neighbour had a chainsaw. So no, he didn't have a chainsaw. It did take quite a lot of cooperation from the SES. It's tough to get that shit open, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard.
Might as well just make your own sauce. But that was the week. The 2 weeks, actually.
So spag bowl, most nights.
Yeah, tacos.
Tacos.
Satay chicken with plum sauce.
What are those?
And that was the whole issue that created this sort of plastic problem, because I put the plastic into the microwave when I was microwaving the tacos.
Oh.
That was the only minor issue I had. I didn't really wash. I just to be honest, I didn't really wear pajamas.
Wait, wash your clothes or the...
We'll wash clothes. Well, both. But I actually just wore what I wore in the day to bed, because I didn't know what to do. It's too cold to be naked.
Oh, no.
So I just wore, very nice clothes to bed, just in case someone came to see me. Which was a bit of a problem in the morning, but...
Depends on what you're doing throughout the day.
I was wearing shoes to bed as well.
You're in trackies and a jumper all day.
I was not wearing trackies. I was wearing what I'm wearing now, except for this jumper. I'm not wearing it.
Were you at home all day?
No, I was out. I was at different coffee establishments and talking to people.
As long as you showered in the morning, you'd be
Yeah.
out. Deodorant?
Well, I had some deodorant on, yeah. But the big problem was I didn't know what to wear when I went to bed. And then cleaning your teeth, that's a big thing as well.
Cleaning your teeth?
Well, yeah, I just don't like it. It's uncomfortable. It's sensitive.
Is it the taste?
And yes, it is. I usually, I drink it. But usually, if you don't have toothpaste, you feel more free, I think. You feel happier. But the big problem is you wake up and you're like, I must have cleaned my teeth. Because you have that sort of aftertaste of the mints. Or plastic when you eat tacos.
The burnt plastic, you mean?
Yes, right.
Smoko tacos.
So it's a big. I don't like cleaning teeth at all. I mean, I haven't found the right toothpaste yet. Or the actual my toothbrush because I usually use my
No one
mum's.
in my family likes toothpaste.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not a big
fine with it.
fan.
No, I don't like that.
Is there an alternative to toothpaste?
I don't know.
Mentos,
Like
maybe?
No, I
Mints?
don't think so. Gum throughout the day, definitely.
Is that going to
But
do
then
the same effect?
That's got sugar in it. No, but it gets it's more the plaque and the food that just hangs on your teeth. Don't you hate that feeling?
Yeah, right.
I don't like
yeah.
that feeling.
Yeah. So maybe I could just eat extra.
You can eat gum and it'll get rid of it.
Or I have to take it to
And
bed as well.
And it's good with coffee.
I mean, how many times should you clean your teeth a day? I mean, that's something they don't teach.
I do twice.
Oh, I do once.
But then
Luckily.
there are some cultures that do after every meal you got to brush your teeth. I think
Right.
Japanese, maybe Japanese, something like that.
We'll get the ABC to fact check that, yeah.
But after every meal you got to brush your teeth, which is really healthy though.
Again, it's
but
a little bit
inconvenient.
It's very
But
inconvenient.
twice a day, definitely in the morning and then before you go to bed.
Yeah.
When you wake up, when you go to bed.
I think especially when you're on holidays, you just have an inkling not to clean your teeth. But there's a big problem. Things grow up in your teeth, and the situation gets worse.
I don't like the feeling.
And yeah, I mean, then you got to go see Dong and talk about it. The dentist.
Oh, the dentist.
Yeah, the dentist Dong
He probably charges you a lot. Doesn't
charges about $5,000 to park. It's a big one, and we live in the same street. I haven't had any issues. I haven't gone there for about 3 years. I really like though when you go to the dentist, the fact that they have nice magazines, a little bit of soft porn, but also that they also have extremely good, hands and all that sort of stuff. But the thing they put in your teeth, it's like gobstoppers, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well,
I've never been to the dentist.
Okay, right. I haven't
My
been
teeth
since.
show it.
I have not been since probably year 8. But the last time I went there was they put some sort of sugar stuff to get all the shit out of your teeth,
No.
right? And they usually say to me, drink less soft drink.
Yeah.
And it just tastes really nice. I mean, I'd love to go back, but I mean, the thing is, what the fuck? I'm really worried what they're going to say. So of course I'm not going to go back. If you never go back, you never have to do anything with your teeth, evidently.
Because there's always something, whether it be a plate or braces.
I reckon I'd say braces.
I recently had a friend turn 21.
Is it me?
No, not me.
Okay.
Last I checked, he weren't wearing braces, but he
for
the first time in his life put on braces when he was 21.
Well,
I think that's a really bad age, isn't it?
It is.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Did you have? Yeah.
I haven't had braces, but I mean, don't you have to have braces?
No.
I thought it was like,
Isn't it just to align your teeth and?
I always thought it was a thing. Most people had braces. I never had braces because I never went to dentist.
But would you rather have when you were adolescent or you're going through a sensitive period in your life? Would you rather have it then, or would you rather have it when you're 21? I'd rather have it when I was younger.
Well, I guess in
Because
retrospect.
those years don't count. Maybe at the time.
They do, yeah, right.
But
I mean, I'd have it now. I mean, no one thinks I'm attractive anyway. And
Why'd you say that?
it's probably a good thing as well because it leaves all the annoying people. The one thing I do when I go to university is I ensure that people don't talk to me. And I do that either through putting my pants down or not having my fly up, or I just dress really inappropriately. I also don't shave sometimes, and that's a really big thing.
Can't say I do either.
Yeah,
But
well, I think the big thing is you need to ensure that annoying people stay out of your life, and you can do that through various ways. It's a good thing,
So dressing strangely
Yeah,
or making them feel uncomfortable.
it is. Yelping helps.
So just
Facing the wrong way in a lecture, throwing things at people. I always do that. I always throw things at people. In tutoring, you say, in 2 minutes' time, if you don't do this, I'm going to throw something at you. It really threatens people because I will throw things at them. I threw a beer bottle at one of them once, hit them in the head. It's that sort of...
And how is the tutoring business going?
as strong as the absinthe. I feel like I'm on an aeroplane. this situation. But it
You
is.
can't get off.
No,
Or
it
is
just
just
feels.
really intense?
Well, no, it feels like we're on a chopper because we both got the earphones in.
You feel like you're in Vietnam Airlines or something. Bad food and you go to the toilet.
A little bit safer than the Vietnam Airlines, but I feel like it is part of it. We're part of something. But no, the business is going quite strong. It's quite.
It's good though, because at least you have some foundations. You always have something to fall back on.
I guess so. I have fallen back.
What about advertising? So yeah, obviously advertise.
Oh yeah, I try to.
Or is that with the Francis Forrest guy on Fitzpatrick?
Yes, he's doing well, isn't he?
So he's the one who advertises for you?
Well, I mean, he's.
Or was that last term still?
Well, I mean, what he does is he effectively. I don't tutor kids anymore, but he effectively. I pay him a certain amount of money each year. He manages the website, but most importantly, he works on the SEO, the search engine optimization, to ensure that when people put in certain words in Google, that my website comes up on the front page. He's very good at his job. He's from Newcastle.
From Newcastle?
He's from Newcastle, yeah. He works for, I think, for Oracle, which is another client.
Is he a Knights fan?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he's a big rugby league player. He's an interesting guy. I mean, he also has a band as well. He's quite into that sort of
I'd
stuff.
love to know his opinion.
His wife makes really good cookies and things like that, which I'd really like to sort of. I mean, maybe my business could also make cookies.
Would you take on bakery?
I wouldn't mind being a Baker's Delight ad. I think they have real benefits.
Never being a baker's tough.
I wouldn't want to be a baker.
But you just want to... Because they'd be up at like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I think they start.
Well, I mean, that's...
As in midnight.
We've started quite early.
So, they'd be cooking now.
Yeah, but...
2 o'clock.
Yeah, but we started at 1. I mean, we're up for it. We this is a real commitment. But good point.
Absolutely.
I mean, the bakers...
Oh, it's because we've only found the time now.
Yeah,
at
it's
2
true.
o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
on a Friday.
It's a Friday, so...
It is a Friday now that we're doing it. And
I rest my point. I'd want to be on a Baker's Delight ad. I wouldn't want to be a baker. But I mean, business is business. I'm sure, if cookies comes into the line, I'd be more up in arms for it. No, I think, why not?
what about the tutor? How are the tutors going? How's the tutoring fine going? The recipients.
What, I mean, the students
go
or the
through
tutors?
No, applications.
Oh,
The teachers. Go
look,
through some applications.
some of them been okay.
Anyone recent ones? Maybe in the last month, 2 months.
There's been some difficult ones. I mean, it's a stressful job, but what can I think of? I don't know. I think with tutoring, you get to immerse yourself in some interesting situations.
Yeah. Such as.
Well, it's a lot. Where do I start? I mean, all you need to do is watch the Current Affairs channel to see. First
And
of
Channel
all,
9, is that a plug?
well, it could be. Yeah, I mean, we're supporting Channel 9 here.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I support Ray Warren, but
No, I don't know. I mean, most tutors have been quite good, but some have been quite average as well. It's hard to say. I mean, they might be listening now, so I don't want to
have they been given the sack?
A couple have.
And how was that experience?
Well, I mean, most of them. I mean, a lot of them. I found out that they were sort of affiliated with certain groups in society, which I would not sort of familiarise myself with, like the Greens or Labor. And I'm a very bipartisan person, as long as it's my opinion over the other. I think it's important that they stay on the right side of the world. And the big thing I look at is if they watch the ABC, that's a step too far, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the ABC is the ALPBC.
Yeah.
I know it's not the most creative sort of...
that and SBS, that's...
Sex before soccer, yeah.
taxpayers' money.
It's taxpayers' money, all of age cheating. It's like watching. It's
going-
like going to a brothel for 24
Going
hours.
downhill.
It's just sex hour. I mean, if you want sex hour, you know, you go to Thailand. It's a lot of crap, isn't it?
really dogmatic.
Even the soccer turns into
dogmatic,
sex. You know, in the half time, you know, someone's mating with someone, and then they put David Attenborough on. It's just a whole sex fest, and that's a waste of taxpayers'
Even in the
money.
European films.
The European Soccer League, yeah, it's all about.
No, the European films.
Yeah, with even Inspector Rex comes involved in it. He is kinky as fuck. He's mating with the local owl. He's all in it. I don't know, people don't really critique the SBS, do they? Because there's a lot of sex on it. The ABC, though, everyone's sort of all
yeah,
quite...
not so much, definitely not so much the SBS. Because they have the films that are...
that people know
go by
fucking nothing
the
about.
same standards that Hollywood or other industries would go by. So they can get away with a bit of nudity, sex scenes, some weird masturbation scenes I've seen.
Have you?
Yeah,
Right.
one with spaghetti
Right,
wrapping
yeah.
around a Homo erectus.
Is that SBC spaghetti?
Yeah.
I don't mind SBC spaghetti.
Oh,
I sort of got over it.
no,
a bit.
no,
It's been a little bit processed.
particular film, I mean, spoiler alert, don't want to gross anyone out.
Probably
but
don't know what... Yeah.
Spaghetti,
In someone's
and he's,
hound.
Around the hound. And he's finished.
He's finished his
with
soup.
a bit of, he's, used it to
He's used the
peel the
spaghetti.
carrot.
Okay. Right.
A bit of syrup's gone in
Sounds
there.
like we're at Harris Farm or something.
Absolutely. Bit of syrup's gone in there. Pale syrup. And next thing, the mother-in-law, I believe, maybe.
It's links to
as
current
well as
affairs.
the fiance or wife or girlfriend or partner, whatever it may be. They want to have dinner, and then he cooks them with that same spaghetti bolognese.
It does have
Yuck.
quite a long shelf life. The SBC. Number of days.
I'd be around a bit. Yeah, you'd just like to see a little bit more quality in the ABC than SBS.
Yeah, and probably an SBC as well.
Definitely. All right, let's go to.
I don't even know what that segment was on.
No, that was just blabbering on.
It was all of the
We'll
above.
get to them.
Anything
Yeah.
and everything.
Camo movies. What let's go 2 weeks. What movies have you seen in the last 2 weeks that have really tickled your fancy?
Tickled my carrot. I'd say on the way back from Viet Minh, well, we're not in the Cold War anymore, but Viet Minh, The Judge.
I have to confess, I saw that same movie as well on the red eye, coming back from, as you called it, Viet Minh.
Yeah, Viet Cong. Interesting story. Quite hard to follow.
I really think Robert Downey Jr. is such a good actor.
He's a good. He's very angry, but he really brings out the
The thing I
best.
really liked about the movie was that you didn't know everything, that every now and then something was dropped, that it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I liked that, he didn't have a good relationship with his dad. Spoiler alert if no one's seen this movie. And then he's gotten cancer, and then
His
he's
dad's
looking
got
after his
cancer.
dad. And then
And with the girl as well, the lady.
And then with the girl.
And cheating on the lady as well.
With the daughter that
Well,
turns
supposed
out to
daughter.
be,
Yeah,
just
right.
everything it just gets better and better as it goes.
It went on, and
So sad.
I was having an extremely emotional flight.
Were you on a red eye as well? Are you on
What's it? Red eyes? What? When you're at paintball
on
or
night time and you landed in the morning.
that was right.
So the flight's
yeah.
at night. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't have any pork buns because I got constipation last time I had it. But it was emotional. I mean, I saw a night at museum, and that is just It's so sad. I really
Wait,
struggle with
Night
that.
at the Museum 2 or
Not
3?
at the museum. I hadn't seen the others, but
3?
yeah, with the one with Rebel Wilson
They've
in it.
made 3?
They have,
Oh,
and that was a shocker. But it was sad. And then the judge. It's just it's an extremely, and it's so embarrassing crying in front of people. I mean, I'm a big crier, but crying.
they're probably all asleep anyway.
Well, no, they were wide awake.
Wide
I mean,
awake.
I woke them up.
Katy Perry on the flight.
Well, no, I just needed someone to comfort. I needed water,
found it
and
really difficult.
I also asked for tissues from the guy next to me. I struggled. It was a really struggling, and then I started crying when we watched the flight launcher. You know, going towards Sydney.
How about as the last? I found the last scene really sad. When
Of Night in the Museum.
not the judge with the
When he
blood-
dies.
when they're on the boat.
Yes.
fishing
Because he
boat.
only just realises what he's like. You know. Robert Downey Jr. though is an extremely good lawyer. I think we can both agree.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I ever got in trouble for breaking into or trespassing again, I would use Robert Downey Jr. I mean, I probably wouldn't get on with him, but
I know you would, yeah.
I would get on
Yeah,
with him.
absolutely.
Okay, right.
I can get on with you, really, real. So,
He'd probably a little bit suspicious that I stole his chocolate cake at dessert.
so probably needs to lose a bit of weight for his Iron Man or Avengers and other.
There was quite a lot of cheating in that movie as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I thought that was just something interesting to bring up.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's quite a prominent issue in the world. I mean, cheating in terms of cheating in HSC exams, cheating in university exams, and cheating in relationships.
It's always cheating in relationships.
Well,
Have you come across this lately?
no. Possibly, that might come up later. I mean, that's a news and affairs sort of event. But I just thought it would be an interesting correlation to
It's always
bring
really
everything.
interesting to know cheating ways of university.
It is, isn't it? I mean, they've been using impersonators, apparently, according to Daily Telegraph.
Personally, I don't remember that.
Well, I saw it today in the newspaper at Red Rooster.
That Red Rooster still existed.
It does, and they still subscribe to Daily Telegraph. And apparently Chinese people, I assume, have been bringing in impersonators to do their tests, to look like them, to speak like them, paying up to about $1,000 per exam. Yeah, right, it's a big issue. Well, I don't think it's actually a big issue, but it's become a big issue in the media.
Couldn't you do the same thing with someone that looked like you in... I don't want to be stepping over a boundary here, but if you were Anglo-Saxon or white,
Yeah.
couldn't you get someone that looked similar to you?
It's pretty hard,
But
though.
it's
I mean,
So it's easier...
I don't know anyone who's 140 kilograms.
They're not 140 kilograms.
I'm close.
So you're saying it's easier for Asian people?
I don't put words in my mouth, but yes. I think it's a lot easier. I think also the people that do those exams are really, really slow. I think anything's possible. To take Nike's
They're
motto.
not making sure. Do you think they're making sure what they're trying to do?
The Chinese people, or
Yeah, they want to make sure they get everything right. I mean, they're being paid thousands of dollars.
these people are obviously very bright.
It's a good idea, though.
It's capitalism, isn't it?
Mm.
It's a smart idea. Certain people are profiting from this, and it's an issue that will continue to be quite important, I think, in the future, possibly. And it's hard to say how many people are involved in
How
it.
do you police it, though?
It's tough. I mean, you can't shoot them. What do you do? I mean, do you make them...
Especially if you're someone that's, like, withdrawn and not with a group. Like, when you give the student an ID card, you can't... No one will disagree because they kind of know that person. I mean, if you're really good... If you're in a group and you're really good friends with someone, they're going to know if you're
It's difficult, and I know what it feels
Acting
like.
as someone else.
I know what it feels like to be withdrawn, because I lost my wallet tonight, but also because I was lost in a lecture once.
And which lecture?
I don't know what it was, but I felt very alienated because I thought I was in an Aboriginal lecture for education, but it was a physics lecture, and until you step into a wrong lecture and can't escape, you don't know the meaning of withdrawn because you don't know what to do, and you can't leave because they judge you.
How'd you get out?
Well, I mean, I ran out
Straight out the front door. Oh,
right in front of a lecture, and he said, "Put your name on the roll," and I just kept running like Kathy Freeman. I didn't look back because he said, "All right, I'm going to go around the lecture now and talk," and I was like, "Shit. What the fuck do I know about 3 years of physics?" Actually, I sort of picked it up. I was writing notes and all that sort of stuff. But people started sort of making comments like, "Who's that guy? What's he eating in the bread?"
What are you eating? A pork roll or something? Pork
right.
buns.
But, I mean, that's a real unsettling situation to get yourself embroiled in. Going to the wrong lecture, not being able to escape because the lecture hall only has one exit towards the lecture. And then being asked to contribute to a lecture that you have no idea what's going on about. And also, not knowing that you're in the wrong lecture until halfway because you don't know anyone there. That's isolation.
Physics is hard because that's actually evidence based and
I mean, I had to write notes because I felt bad, and I also didn't want to look outside. It made sense. It was sort of sport or something, physics. The lecture was actually really nice. I enjoyed the lecture. I stayed the whole 2 hours.
Did you miss another?
I'd missed a couple lectures, but I mean, I just, because the problem was I went to this lecture thinking it was the lecture I was supposed to be in. I misread I had
How
just
long before you figured it out?
probably about half an hour. I mean, I was sort of sitting there going,
Quarter.
I don't really recognise anyone here. And I was also thinking, how the hell does this have anything to do with Aboriginal studies? And then it clicked that this was not my class. And then I thought, how the fuck do I get out of here? I just thought, I have to soldier on. I just have to take it like a man and just continue.
Okay. And then with the weather now. We'll skip straight over the going through 2 hours of physics lecture.
Yes.
So you pretty much the whole time you hung around for the physics lecture.
Did.
So you missed a couple.
I did miss a couple lectures.
Did you have to catch up on them later?
Somehow I actually passed this sort of course, but look.
This is the last semester.
No, this is like the first year of university. It was a very tough sort of start to university.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds like it.
Sydney Uni is an extremely difficult place to get to, and I just went to a lot of wrong lectures, and sometimes I just sort of gave up on tutorials. I mean, for example, I remember one time I was like level 3, and I couldn't understand it because there was only one level, and it was only about 3 weeks later that I realised that the room was right there, and I'd gone home and I'd rang my friend and started crying, and just those sort of moments in uni where you just sort of gave up and went to eat a meat pie or have a milkshake or something like that. Roll. Eat a sausage roll. It's funny, isn't it? Natural. New Zealand natural sort of a bit out of fashion these days. There's not many anymore. Really? Yeah.
Some over in Vietnam.
There's one in Macarthur, I think. There's one maybe in the city, but they're not really big anymore.
One in Chatswood.
Is there still?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
They have a sign anyway saying they do New Zealand natural.
Right.
I had some in Vietnam. It's beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Vietnam, yeah. I mean, look, Vietnam's a difficult place, isn't it? It's a pretty hard place to navigate. I think it's a perfect example of how communism is not sort of really reinvigorated society over there. I mean, it's very slow and unproductive and inefficient, and it's a lovely place. But I think there's certain things about the government there that we can say here, of course, in New Zealand,
Absolutely.
that
In New Zealand.
in Australia, sorry, that are not necessarily great.
I think up north, I think they got away a little bit more with that kind
Okay,
of stuff.
a little less sort of surveillance.
Communism sort of seemed to me the drugs and the trafficking.
I didn't see any drugs.
Not in south or central, but
Right.
up north.
I didn't see
really
any animals
noticed
as
a lot
well.
more trafficking. Didn't you?
I think there's a bit of a problem with
Did
animals.
you see any of the lizards on the trees?
No.
They had like blue necks and.
No, I think
strange.
yeah, I don't know. I
Saw a chameleon.
saw Camilla,
No, chameleon.
one of those flowers.
You know the ones that well, I'm probably going to get hammered about this later, but I'm sure they're the ones that camouflage. They're the lizard that camouflage.
Why are you going to get hammered about this?
Oh, well, probably because I'm wrong.
Okay, right. So we got the ABC fact check
Chameleon.
still sort of.
I'm sure chameleon.
How do you spell that?
It's charmeleon.
Oh, of course, right, yeah. No, that wasn't right at all.
See,
Charmeleon
that
is a
little thing,
is a
see?
Pokemon character, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. See,
Right.
Reputable source.
Wikipedia, yeah, it's pretty accurate.
See, they change colours and.
So you saw a chameleon
I saw a chameleon.
at the supermarket.
Well, I've never seen a chameleon. Have you?
No, I mean maybe at Taronga Zoo.
I don't know. I've never seen one in yeah, ever. Saw some sharkies.
You saw the Cronulla Sharks over there. Greg
No.
Bird.
I hope not.
He was taking some ice, was he?
Oh, yeah.
The Sharks are doing quite well this year.
Sharks-
They must be
Sharks.
sort of on the rehab side of the drugs.
They're on the cusp of top 4.
They are, but they've never won though, have they?
No, they haven't.
Since 1967. So I guess, do you think they're going to win?
I just don't think they have a team.
I mean, they don't have a very good
They have the
stadium.
confidence to go on a run. I think
Yeah.
they'll get close. I just don't think they have the class to get them over the line.
I think mainly because most of their fans are overweight. I have a friend
You say
who's...
that about our fans.
Well, I mean, but we're never going to go over the line, are we, in the next couple of years? Possibly. I mean,
At least we won a premiership.
we did. The Sharks have
Penrith
not yet.
Panthers supporters.
Yes. Only just still, but we're still
We're
around.
not like the New Zealand Warriors fans. You see
No.
what happened with that today?
What do they do?
Well, in outrage, missing the finals again.
They missed the finals,
since
right.
2011. Well, they're only 2 points out of the 8.
Since when they played Manly in the final.
Yeah, they're only 2 points out of the 8.
Yeah.
But fans are giving up, and I saw an article this morning saying that some fans were selling all of their jerseys, and some of them unique, and that they've been collecting for years and years and years. Others were burning them.
Wow.
It's pretty full on.
Just because they missed the finals? I mean...
Well, they're close. Like I said, they're only 2 points out. To be honest, I wouldn't write them off.
Mm.
I know
Well, I mean, they got the Panthers
They've
playing
lost
this
Sean
week.
Johnson. Yeah, they got the Panthers this week. Which I don't think the Panthers will make it.
They're playing Mount Smart this week, aren't they?
That's smart. Yep.
It'll
I
be
think-
big game for
I think-
Penrith in the old Orewa sort of area, or Silverdale, I think they call it over New Zealand. Mount Smart,
Local knowledge.
Yeah, local knowledge. Yeah, a bit of a family background. But Silverdale, not Silverdale, that's a jail in Australia, isn't it? I don't know what it's called. I'd have to sort of call up one of my aunties in New Zealand to talk about this. Not Silverdale. But there's a big shopping centre around there.
Is there?
There is huge... Well, apparently it's one of the biggest shopping centres
Wow.
in New Zealand.
So this is near Auckland.
Well, I mean, Mount Smart is... Fuck.
is
Mount Smart is sort of about 20 minutes south of Auckland, near Orewa.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? recall, but it's quite an important place, which is where my granddad lives.
Oh, okay.
Orewa, the beach, the coast, all that sort of stuff. Oh, I nearly had it, but I lost it.
So now would be a decent time to go. If you wanted to watch the Warriors play.
Well,
Oh, couldn't you go in Four Nations?
when's the Four Nations?
At the end of the year, November?
Yeah, you could go watch. Quite a scintillating sort of event.
They'd have him that smart. Interesting.
Yeah, it would be a good place to come.
That's good. It'd be cold over there.
It wouldn't be very cold in November.
Mm.
It would be cold now. June, July is we're in August, aren't we?
We're
But
in August.
yeah, August is quite a cold time for New Zealand. Probably a little bit worse than
So in
Australia.
Australia, weather we've got cold at the moment. But
It is.
It has been kind of warm though.
I think
Since
look,
since I've gotten back.
from what the data I've got here,
It was the
yeah,
Antarctic blast.
Yeah.
Early on in last July.
Yeah.
Mid-July, I should say. Sorry, and then I was away for 2 weeks, and when I got back, it was warm. In the 20s.
yeah. Look, I think most experts would agree that it's only going to get hotter. And I think, this image here of Sydney tonight is a perfect example of the vast effects of I guess what you could call...
It's a sandstorm, that is.
It is. I guess you could say global warming. Possibly tomorrow we could wake up and it could be 40 degrees.
It's really be cool.
It's quite big.
It would be cool.
I think, though, it's going to increase. I mean, we're moving towards what we call summer in Australia. I think we're also moving towards spring, but...
I definitely think there is such thing as global warming, and
here's the evidence.
I question the effect, but for me, it's the cycle of weather that happens, and eventually we will go back into a ice age again, like there was.
I
And
mean,
it
if
will
Pixar's going to bring up a
apart.
new movie, then yes.
Oh, great movies, by the way.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know
if they
you've
bring-
ever seen Ice Age, but
Well,
one
yeah, I
of
mean,
my favourites.
it's
Definitely top 20, top 20, top 30.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there in the movies. But yeah, I think there's still.
I don't
it's
think
just a
there's an
cycle.
ice age this month, though. It's
No.
close.
No,
I think there's a problem of ice.
but it's all it's all melting. Yeah,
It is.
yeah. So it's all melting. Generally speaking, anyway, melting, and then eventually, they get to a point maybe where it's a little bit dry. Everything's just dry.
Yes.
And then it will go back to being an ice age, and then that will melt, and then the ice will cut through the crust of the earth and shape things differently. It's all a cycle. Yeah, it has an effect. I just don't. I don't know the magnitude of it though.
I like the word magnitude. But me as a weatherman, I think the weather is only going to get hotter. And I think, it wouldn't be abnormal if we woke up tomorrow and it was 65 degrees. I think it's a real possibility, particularly if you listen to the ABC. But I also think, this could happen. I mean, this is an image of tonight, and even though it's cold today, tomorrow could be a lot hotter. I mean, there's nothing saying that it wouldn't be hot tomorrow. Particularly not the ABC or any sort of reliable, in inverted commas, media agency. We need to really take these scientific sort of reports suggesting that it's going to get hot very soon quite seriously. Because if we continue to wear, heavy jumpers, where are we going to get?
I think that raises a couple of good points. That I think that's something they're trying to bring up in Parliament on global warming, and actually, I think I don't know if it's Greens or whether they're some sort of environmental scheme that with global warming, it's not just about your cars and things like that, but it's preserving species and all that sort of stuff, so that doesn't get to that point.
Yes, right.
I don't know.
Well,
It,
I mean,
isn't that something that has to happen at the highest level?
I think, the thing about this program is we always try and stay very neutral about these issues. Unlike many other media
We'd have to
outlets.
get Mitch Flight on this.
That would be a perfect opportunity for
It'll be Chandox.
a larger man to purport his views on this.
Is that alright though?
Quite a larger man.
If it's going to get hotter, then isn't something has to happen on a federal level so that it controls your country?
Yes. But I guess the whole problem is it's very much dependent on other countries acting as well. In fact, we're not going to get bias here. But I mean, Australia, I guess, does more than many other countries, particularly the US or the Chinese. I mean, think about the Chinese. You go to Shanghai and you can hardly ascertain the rice from the pollution.
Go to Beijing and it's just smog.
Yeah, it's smog.
Can't see anything.
It's communism. You can see Mao from a distance, but you have to come quite close. You don't have much freedom as well. But
I just don't. I really question how much of an effect it actually is having. I honestly, it's just a cycle.
Yeah, well, I think this is.
It's gonna chop and change. Eventually, obviously, I mean, years and years and years, we won't even be here. But eventually, it will go. And just
well, I mean, if you moved, we wouldn't be here. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh no! Eventually, it won't be viable.
Ah, right.
But no, that's generations away. By that stage, we might need to find another.
Well, I think David.
Goldilocks planet. But
I think what? I think you should care. No, I agree. I don't.
I just think it's cycle of weather. We can't control that, and I think global warming has an effect, but it's not shaping the climate and the weather.
Well,
the temperatures, I should say.
I think in the future we'll have more to say about this because we'll have a diversity of views other than your HP printer that can assist in this ongoing debate.
How do you think Bradley Yip
will stand?
Yeah, stand on this point.
Well, he'll probably squat, but I'm not sure. I mean, he's a little of the left brigade, being in the difficult suburbs of Camaray, but it would be interesting to see what he thinks. I mean, maybe we could get Mitch Leggett. We could get Mitch Leggett, and he's quite accessible, isn't he?
Do a guest appearance.
Yeah, we could have a couple. We could have a panel, and we could have a question, and we could ask them certain questions pertaining to this, and see what they come up with. I think Mitch Flight would have to probably bring in security as well. He's quite hostile and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it would be difficult. I mean, we could give him Scotch. We'd have to probably get Scotch as well, because he likes Scotch.
That can be arranged on the rocks.
We could give him absinthe.
Oh, absinthe.
That would probably kill him.
We'd get some more opinions out of him, though.
We would.
Well, I think this is something we'll do in the future. It's our politics segment. We will every now and then get Mitch Flight on. But I think I'm very comfortable with your views, and I would put you as an expert.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you. I mean,
definitely out of the two of us and a lot of people I know.
I mean, the thing is, what is this channel called? I mean, it's not called the Liberal Party advertisement, is it? Or
I don't think we've come up with a name yet. Maybe
we haven't come up with a name. I mean,
we started off with the show with Camo and Dave, but
it's sort of explicitly become more sort of politicised, I guess.
I don't know, VLC, Big Time,
VLC,
Minecraft. I don't know what we call it.
Well, I mean, are you just looking at things? And Cam Studio is actually quite good. I mean, that's quite relevant to what we're looking at.
programs you do?
Maybe even Norton. I mean, you've got a bit of a virus at the moment.
No, not anymore.
Spotify, we just repeat
I just want to give a plug.
podcasts.
I want to give a plug to Norton.
They've done quite
Since
well.
I've got them, I feel really safe and secure.
Well, I mean, that's a motto, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, I guess that's only applicable to
The only thing I
computers.
dislike, though, is the fact that it costs a lot more if you want multiple devices to be protected.
Like your iPad and all that.
Yeah. But with other software programs that deal with antivirus, they include everything, which is obviously how they get their buyers.
Yes.
But
right.
with this, it's, yeah.
What are some other products which make you feel safe and secure?
McAfee, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah, of course. McAfee.
Yeah, something like that.
They're like Irish
I
or
know there's
something.
AVG, but...
AVG is, yeah, I've had yesterday's heroes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What about
There's a
condoms?
new one. What's it? What's yours?
What do they call them? Condiments.
Don't know.
Like towelettes and things you get that help you
Yeah.
ensure that you're safe when you're eating or satisfying yourself
Sanitary.
with food and stuff. Condiments, things that ensure that you don't have consequences if you.
Is that the brand?
No, I mean condiments is a word to just. It's a little bit like a condom, I guess, but for food, because it keeps you safe from the grease in KFC. You get a little bit of a towelette, you put it over your head and all that sort of stuff. Do you feel safe when you put, what's his name, the KFC guy?
The Colonel.
The Colonel. Do you feel safe when you put the Colonel on your helmet?
Absolutely.
That's good.
Feel comfortable with the Colonel.
Yeah, it's a shame he's dead.
Yeah.
I think he's done very well. He's probably a little bit on decline, but you think about the fast food restaurants in this country. I mean, if Norton was a fast food restaurant, I'd go for them. They're pretty safe.
Safe and secure.
There's a lot of food issues in this country, isn't there? Particularly when I'm cooking. But
you know what though? I think we're really lucky.
Compared to
Vietnam.
and
Gosh, just being over in Vietnam, you're just lucky.
Yeah.
Most places you can go, you're fine.
It's a big problem. But
with people that do get restaurants, cafes, or things like that do get caught, they get named and shamed.
In Australia.
Yeah.
Not in Vietnam.
Not in Vietnam.
They get glorified.
But you can see. It may look nice, but you got to check. It's got to tick a few boxes. Does it look nice? I've got a lot of people there. Is the menu in English? I think if those few things check out, I think you're fine.
Absolutely. I guess the big thing though is, what is significant about the 14th of August? What's some big things that have happened in the past?
So on this day, well, enlighten me. You're the history teacher.
Well, nearly. Well, I think that the big thing is Berlin in 1961 became divided, where the wall started becoming constructed between the east and west. What it meant was people in the east from the Russian side weren't able to come towards the west unless they were able to work.
Is this the east? Was it East Berlin that had the massive drug scandal in the Olympics when they hosted?
I think
Is that the same thing?
It could be. When did they host the Olympics?
I think it was in the 60s.
Okay, right. It definitely could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing because I was just over there the other day. Actually, it really fits in well with this segment.
Doesn't it?
And the big problems in East and West Germany. I mean, the main thing was you had this communist state and this capitalist state, and so the wall is still sort of quite well prominently
Constructed?
placed. Yeah, still. But it's an important event. I think another important event that we realised when we did a lot of research for this show is Fidel Castro was born in 1926. 1926? Yeah, 1926. Oh, we'll have to get the statisticians to see that. But I think it was 1926.
I'm sure someone will correct us on that anyway.
It was probably a number of
They
collections.
might abuse us on social media.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
They'll go straight to you.
1926 was the first time in which he was situated on this earth. And he's still alive. I mean, he's still going. He's still kicking on. He's got the Cuban cigars going. He's more Marxist than Lenin. And he's got the flag on the Harbour Bridge. He's very happy about it. So congratulations to his birthday. I think, what else have we got? I mean, something about ice. Oh, no, that's not on this day. Oh, I guess it could be on this day. People could be taking ice at the moment.
Yeah, that's something we'll definitely get to on some current affairs.
How do we resolve it, though? How do we resolve the issue of Ice Cube in the 90s and his conflict with Dr. Dre?
I heard someone today saying it was more the detoxing them or something like that. You know what the problem is though? It's so easily accessible. It's so cheap, and it's really socially acceptable because it's just having a drag.
Oh,
Like out of a cone or a, how else do you say cone? I don't know.
joint or
Joint. That's the one. Yeah. So it's like having marijuana or a cigarette, like a rollie. But ice is in there. It's just so socially acceptable as opposed to heroin, where it's the needles and things like that. It's more socially acceptable. No one blinks an eye.
Yeah, right.
It's just the demon that drug.
Mm.
So yeah, I think too easily accessible, the price, and it's just accepted in a social context.
How much is ice usually?
$20 for, I don't know specifically the amount, but I know that about $20.
Oh, right. It's easy.
It's not like cocaine where it costs you what, 150
lots.
or for
And I guess it's a similar effect you experience.
I suppose I don't.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Maybe we could
okay,
get it.
well, the feeling
yeah.
that I heard today was better than sex. It's just
But
when you take it that you think to yourself, this is the feeling that I need.
wow. Hence why it's popular. So maybe one week we could somehow get a drug expert on this.
Absolutely. I don't know if we ever
We could either
one.
get a practicing drug person or maybe a drug expert on the issue. Either two would be quite good. Probably at the same time would be even better. I'm sure there's a lot of drug people in Killarney.
On the
Drug
normal basis.
experts, I mean, we could research.
Or maybe not professionals, but definitely users.
Well, yeah, we could definitely get some users.
I
I think we'd have to search as far as a couple of houses to find that, or even the local neighbourhood school.
Take your pick in our year, and I think we'll be able to find one.
Oh, we could get Ricky Farncombe on the show to talk about drugs. Ben Duncan, I'm thinking.
I wouldn't mind Ben Duncan, but definitely
I'm not sure if he's still alive.
I saw him the other day.
Okay, so he's alive.
Still
Is that
alive.
the chicken shop?
I didn't see him in his work setting, but I saw him walking around Forest Shore.
Oh no, but he likes the chicken shop. He likes a bit of a feed.
There was.
Maybe we could start with the lesser drugs. Maybe we could start with marijuana and we could work our way up to the big drug of ice. I mean, because marijuana is quite a
But we
resin.
want to do it the other way around because at least marijuana's. I mean, out of all of them, like it's still bad, but it's still less. I don't know. Less an outcome in terms of it's the danger, the effect it has on you, the way it twists your brain, the anger, those sorts of things. I think if you ask parents as well of people that of their children that took ice, I think they'd rather say that they take marijuana than ice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
wouldn't you rather come up with a scheme that focused on more the worst drugs?
Well, the big thing is we need to find people to take ice. Or at least we need to find experts on ice. That'd be quite hard.
Could you ask some in rehab?
You could.
Or ones that have recently got a rehab?
You could. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. We could look into it. We
But-
could.
Oh, well, I suppose this ties in with our politics. I mean, are the government doing enough to eradicate it?
Ooh. Well, I mean, they had a national awareness program,
Okay.
campaign.
Okay.
I mean, what else can they do? Hey, this is I don't know. This is a This is a
it's
difficult
hard
issue.
because you can
a lot of it is personal choice, isn't it? A lot of it is also social,
yeah,
but people have to make their own decisions. Like tonight, I decided to lose my wallet.
would you want to bring it in early into schools and show the harsh effects that it has early on?
Yeah,
I know it's not going to change opinions in some
I think
people's
that's
eyes.
important, but I think it's more ongoing because in year 6 it's not going to have any relevance. In year 8, 9, 10 it is.
Not primary school, but
Yeah,
definitely in high school.
in year 8, 9, 10, probably every year it is because people would start taking drugs probably in year 9 and 10, and you'd have the worst users taking cocaine in year 9 and 10, or ice,
Yeah.
even the worst. I mean, the worst drug users will be taking those higher level drugs in year 9 and 10. And they're probably around 15, 16, acid, that sort of
It's
stuff.
hard because there's no real pattern on. I mean, in terms of demographics, I mean, it's not like there's the poor, the middle class, or the high class. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like that. It occurs all throughout the demographics there.
Yeah, I think.
Well, if you got any ideas on what, I don't know, how to eradicate it.
I have no idea. I mean, I think it's becoming worse. I feel drugs is becoming more of an issue than it was with us.
Because it's more easily accessible.
Yeah, right. And because
cheaper.
people are, I guess, becoming, some people are becoming more wealthy, and parenting, I think, has a huge issue here. But particularly in certain areas, people are becoming much more susceptible to these drugs, and it doesn't matter sort of what threats or checks or education people receive, people sort of just discount it and continue to take drugs. That's the reality. People confined to social situations, they involve themselves in these behaviours of alcohol or drugs, and a lot of it is about conformity, and they do, and then literally, you start with marijuana and you move yourself up, and I think, you'd be happy for a lot of people to be taking marijuana in high school rather than moving towards other drugs.
And that's the thing, alcohol's one thing, it's the fact that drugs have different effects and feelings on your body.
I think it's a good point because alcohol used to be, I guess, the issue, particularly when we were back. Drinking alcohol, it's bad, but I mean, at the same time, getting drunk on alcohol is 10 times better than a year 9 taking ice. So I'm sure parents these days would much rather prefer a student taking alcohol rather than taking marijuana or taking this, because drugs and alcohol are two completely different
small
things.
amounts of alcohol is good, maybe 2 a day.
It's fine. I mean, but it's not the issue at the moment. I think the issue is drugs. It's not, at parties. It's not binge drinking really anymore. Binge drinking has probably been replaced by drugs, I think.
And it takes a long time to get to a bad place with alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to have kids who are going to be drinking every night, really. I mean, there'll be some alcoholics, but you're not going to, people don't have the money and don't have the time, and all that sort of shit. But I think drugs is probably the bigger issue these days. It's not real, and that's probably says a lot about how the world has got worse because there's more problems now for people to avoid or ignore or sort of refuse. And there's no sort of escape for many of them. I mean, I guess a lot of them are quite lucky. They live in quite well-off backgrounds. I mean, a lot of Christian families and stuff
I'd really
will not
like
be exposed to that.
How federal police, how they eradicate it on I don't know, a first-hand scale. I mean, they're obviously the ones that have to cut down the supplies. How do they... Because it is so easily accessible.
And
how do you target that area?
How is it easily accessible? I mean, that's the hard thing, isn't it? How is it either getting into the country or becoming just, spread across also? So it's a pressing issue. I think with this show, we've got two real big segments. We've got politics. I think, involving people from the left side of politics is only fair because we can humiliate them. But also, I guess, value their contribution. I mean, I think Mitch Flight would be very more than welcome as long as we order Domino's. But
maybe
we could
Snickers ice creams.
Yeah, actually, he likes them. Yeah.
Well, on a lighter note,
much lighter.
A man was found drunk, hanging upside down on a fence. Now, I know we've had our biggies, and I know we've had rough nights.
Yeah.
It's the worst place you've ended up after a big night.
I've had a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of vomiting incidents, but I think the worst actual incident I ever had was when I fell off a cliff.
So you've ended up at the bottom of a cliff.
Well, I mean, it was at a golf club, and I was there for some reason with my friend. We'd just had a couple of wine. Well, we probably had a couple of bottles of wine. This Italian restaurant. We'll go for a bit of a walk on the golf course. He said, let's go to this tree, and never climbed a tree. I'm not a big fan of camps, of climbing things. Gone up, we said, let's go down from this tree. I don't know how the fuck I got up the tree as well. But I fell down a tree and I actually fell probably a number of holes towards the 18th. I landed on the 18th and I remember hitting rock and it was very solid. Sort of probably 4 seconds of pain in that I couldn't respond because I was in much pain. But I was, I survived and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that would probably be one of the worst. I'd probably dropped a good 10 metres. But, yeah, I don't know, but there's heaps. I mean, there was an Australia Day party where I face planted and, pretty much took my eye out pretty much. And had to go in for a student ID photo the next day, and I looked like I had a black eye, and that was that one as well. And it's a tough. I've had a lot. I mean, somehow I always involve myself in these situations. I've ended up on ovals, and I've actually probably the other worst one I've had was another night where I went with this guy and had a couple of wines, and somehow I ended up at someone's house and I just ended up vomiting next to the mum, like I nearly hit her with a vomit. And kids were crying and all that sort of stuff. She had no idea who I was. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know who her husband was. I was just in the house, vomiting everywhere, and everyone was crying, and he was passed out, and I couldn't get out of the house, and I didn't know where I was. And
how can you get out of the house?
Well, she gave me a key, but she has 40 keys on it. I didn't know how to get out. She said, "Get out, here's a key," and that was a tough night, I think. Well, mainly for them, but
I reckon they didn't have to clean up the spear.
She cleaned it up. I mean, I couldn't clean it up. I was too drunk. He was a nice guy. I mean, I met him at the bus stop. He was wearing a bucket hat. It was 12 o'clock at night, but some people wear bucket hats at 12 o'clock at night. And where are you staying tonight? I said, well, I live in Castle Crag, it's quite close. He said, well, why don't you stay at my house? I was like, oh, yeah, sure, right. I only live like 5 minutes away, but okay, I'll go to your house. Went in there, straight away I just vomited. So that was a pretty bad night. I sort of have no real sort of prestige after that.
Yeah, I think, luckily enough, I've ended up in my bed every time I've had a bad night and I've ended up in bed.
Yeah.
A lot of vomiting, but I've been lucky. What about in the Roland household? I know they're away, but
They're not away anymore.
and so they got back recently,
They
a couple
did.
of days ago.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
What events have happened in the Roland household?
Can you be a bit more specific?
With the parents?
I
How's
don't-
Mrs. Roland?
She's going well. She's quite annoyed about a certain person not inviting her, but
Oh, really?
look, I mean, she's fun. She's just very pedantic, and she's one of those people who's much more confident than she actually thinks she is when it comes to spiders and all that.
I was going to say she loves her insects.
She,
Terrified of
yeah,
them.
she's terrified, but she feels like she's okay. I mean, she's just a little bit eccentric. I mean, she uses breadsticks. She attacks them with baguettes from French patisserie. I mean, she calls everyone Hitler and Gestapo, and she's really got the Nazi references quite well from me.
And what kind of people is she calling Gestapo and SS troops?
Well, I mean, she really does not like the president of the golf club.
Should we name and shame? Do we name
We
and shame?
we can call her Bev Wilson.
Oh.
Mainly because Bev Wilson
Which golf course?
at Northbridge Golf. Mainly because she sent out an email. Bev Wilson's actually resigned since all this sort of tumultuous events. But Bev Wilson sent out an email sort of having a go at the committee saying, they're not doing enough and they're, going against her and all that sort of like the Labour coup. And my mum did not like that at all. She rang them all up. She was rallying them like Bill Shorten. She was creating unions and bloody some sort of bank and all that sort of stuff. And she didn't take it. She's calling everyone Gestapo, and my mum doesn't like that. The bowling club as well. Mum was like the only person who voted for the bowling club to stay a girls' club. She's a very defiant woman. Very lost.
She looking to go back to Japan?
She loves Japan, and she speaks Japanese to people. And her best friend's Japanese. Well, not Japanese, but she's Australian, but she has a Japanese lodge.
And for our listeners, how did the Japanese fever, if I may, how did that begin?
Oh, I really don't know. I mean, I guess it's his friend, but
After she went to Japan?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, she came back
or was
and
it before and then after
more
that it got
more after.
accentuated?
I think it's more after. I mean, she came back and, for example, she was not wearing like European custom wear. She was wearing a kimono, and I thought, she's changed a little bit. And then she spoke Japanese for a good 2 weeks, and I was like, yep. She's not the same person. And she bought me a kimono, and she was all into it. And she used to speak Japanese in the emails and all that sort of stuff. And
Google Translate?
yeah, she's really into it. Look, I mean, my mum's had a lot of bad incidents as well. My mum's, she fell out of a golf cart once. She broke her arm, and
Really?
yeah, it was terrible. I mean, she was playing with someone, and the lady drove a golf cart down a hill sideways, and they flipped, and they had to get the ambulance and take them to hospital. And I think my mum just comes towards trouble, with the Hoyts and that. And
It was a tragic ending to it all.
wow,
How's Neil?
He's fine.
He had a massive holiday. He went Vietnam, Europe, and
He
then
loved
got
it.
back, and then he went to New Zealand.
He loved it, but he got the flu.
In where?
In New Zealand. Yeah, I mean, look, he's going fine. Look, the biggest thing is they often have some sort of fight in public areas, and it's a little bit embarrassing. But look, they're a good couple.
Oh,
Um,
that's normal.
no, yeah, no, but yeah, everything's going strong, except for my losing my wallet and all that sort of stuff. I guess the favourite song.
Yeah, well, next thing, what's your, I suppose this week, what's been the favourite song this week?
I'm a big fan of Firestone. I think
Firestone.
Artist? I think Nick Kyrgios is doing a really good job of that song.
Who's the artist?
No, not Nick Kyrgios. It's quite a close song to that.
I'm sure it's a tennis player.
Well, if it was Nick Kyrgios, it'd be quite racist. But it's close. But I'm also a big fan of the old stuff.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
the
Firestone?
well,
Yeah, what's the other one?
yeah.
Old stuff? Well, you had something on Smooth FM.
Oh, you know what I really like? I like the Belinda Carlisle. I'm listening to this song at the moment called "Summer Rain" by Belinda Carlisle, and it's beautiful, beautiful.
Lovely.
I also like a little bit of JoJo. I like everything really. I'm also very into classical.
Recent trend.
Pretty much since I left Vienna, I've become infatuated with, classical music and Spotify and listen to things which are quite soothing and relaxing and gay and no, they're quite nice,
I suppose we'll have to avoid the gay word
We will.
for future.
But
My favourite song this week is Fort Minor, Welcome. It's a new single with Mike Shinoda, who is one of the lead vocalists for Linkin Park.
Okay, right.
With Chester Bennington. And Fort Minor are bringing out a new album. So I don't know if you remember the name and all those sorts of songs years ago. Yeah, they're bringing out a new album, so that'll be my favourite song at the moment.
Yeah.
I really like what's that song? Shut Up and Dance.
Shut Up and Dance by
Yeah,
Walk the Moon.
Walk the Moon.
Yeah.
Great song. Yeah.
I sort of
At
been
the moment, last week or week and a half.
I've been retracking myself to Avril Lavigne, When You're Gone and those sorts of songs. Look, I think this is good because what we can do is we can start thinking about politics, and I think we can have Shannon Butler, we can have Mitch Flight, we can also what we can also do, we can have guests. Well, I mean, there's not many other people, but we could Skype.
Opinionated, so I suppose it's good.
We could Skype people.
I mean, we're already at we're already at an hour.